Have you ever had a crush so intense it completely messes with your head? That's exactly what's happening to our girl, Yan Dan. She's sitting at her desk, supposed to be writing the mortal tales, but her mind is totally blank. All she can do is sigh. Yu Mo, being the absolute sweetheart he is, tries to tempt her with some delicious fried rice. But even that amazing smell can't break her out of her funk. When Yu Mo asks, "What's wrong?" Yan Dan confesses she feels completely out of control whenever she's near Tang Zhou. Yu Mo, our resident love expert, immediately diagnoses her with a classic case of having a crush. Yan Dan, who's new to all these human emotions, is totally baffled. What does heart fluttering even mean? Yu Mo advises her to take it slow and explore these new feelings, but he also gives her a serious warning.
Tang Zhou is on track to become the next leader of the Linlang sect, a role that requires him to cut off all romantic ties.
So, this budding romance could be headed for some serious trouble. Meanwhile, another drama is unfolding with Li. Remember how she gave up 500 years of her demon power to save her brother Z? Well, she's been working non-stop ever since, but her powers just aren't coming back. She's super anxious about it. And even though Zilin tries to comfort her, she can't shake the worry. Seeing her so down, Zilin gets a clever, if slightly mischievous, idea. He summons a brush spirit for a little bit of theatrical help. The spirit is nervous, knowing that fox demons really don't like being tricked. But Zilin promises to upgrade him to a fancy wolf hair brush, and the spirit reluctantly agrees to the plan. So, Zilin sets the stage. The brush spirit poses as a brush immortal to tell Linglang's fortune. With great confidence, the immortal declares that Linglang's demon power will definitely return in time.
Feeling a bit better, Linlang decides to push her luck and asks about her love life. And who does the brush point to?
None other than Zilin. That's when Linlang realizes this whole thing is a setup. She's no fool. She immediately exposes the brush spirit and threatens him until he spills the beans, admitting Zilin was behind the whole charade. Zilin rushes to defend himself, swearing he only planned the part about her powers coming back. The romance part, he claims, was just fate intervening. Linlang is not having it. To test her recovering strength, she zaps both of them. Zilin goes flying.
When the brush spirit complains she hit too hard, Zilin jumps to her defense, passionately declaring he wants to marry her.
This just makes Linlang even more furious, and she starts chasing him all over the place.
The poor brush spirit, seeing their chaotic but undeniable connection, wisely decides to stay out of it.
Back with our main trio. Yan Dan and Tang Zhou are on a mission. They're at a jewelry shop, investigating the plum blossom hairpin that was used as a murder weapon. They don't find any leads at first. Tang Zhou takes this quiet moment to clarify things with Yan Dan. He explains that his whole thing with Fu Shuang was just an act, and he would never give her the precious sinking flower hairpin. To make up for all the drama, he gives Yan Dan a beautiful bouquet of fresh flowers. It works like a charm. Yan Dan's anger melts away, and she happily takes back her hairpin. Just then, Yu Mo shows up. The shopkeeper notices Yan Dan's unique hairpin and offers to make a custom piece for her. Seizing the opportunity, Yan Dan casually asks if he has ever seen a plum blossom hairpin like the one from the crime scene. And bingo! The shopkeeper remembers that Fu Shuang had ordered that exact design before. The plot thickens. What will... Yan Dan couldn't shake her suspicion. She was becoming more and more convinced that Fu Shuang was not who she seemed. She believed Fu Shuang was actually a disciple of the Shenxiao Palace and the very same old woman who had killed Zhao Qi. But to prove it, they needed evidence. The mark of a Shenxiao Palace disciple was a three-petaled plum blossom tattoo, usually hidden in a discreet spot. Yan Dan, ever the bold one, decided she would find it herself. Her opportunity came when Fu Shuang was taking a bath. Moving with stealth, Yan Dan crept close to the bathing chamber. As steam filled the air, she saw it. The butterfly tattoo on Fu Shuang's arm, when touched by the hot, moist air, transformed. The delicate wings morphed into the unmistakable shape of a three-petaled plum blossom. Her identity was confirmed.
Yandan rushed back to tell Tang Zhou, "And you know everything."
Tang Zhou, ever the strategist, reasoned that now that Fushwang knew her cover was blown, she would surely try to contact her allies in the Shenxiao Palace. Their plan was simple. Wait for her to make a move, and then follow her. But they weren't the only ones listening. Li Wei-yang's clever parrot had overheard their entire conversation. Just as they predicted, Fushwang slipped out under the cover of darkness. The trio followed her, staying hidden in the shadows. Their pursuit led them to a strange, desolate area. Suddenly, the world around them shifted. Night turned into day. A breathtaking landscape of blooming plum blossoms and flowing streams materialized out of thin air.
Yandan recognized this magic from ancient texts she had read.
It was a powerful spiritual technique known as Mirror Lake, Water Muna Spirit Domain, created from the user's own spiritual power, its appearance changing with their mood. She guessed this domain must belong to the master of the Shenxiao Palace. Her guess was spot on. This was the palace master's domain, and the three of them had just walked right into a trap. Then, the master appeared, and it was a face they recognized all too well. It was Li Wei-yang. Yandan and Tang Zhou had suspected him for a while. There was no wealthy Liu family in the city, just as he had claimed. His entire identity was a fabrication. Seeing his cover completely blown, Li Wei-yang dropped the act. He threatened them, boasting that he would drain their spiritual power until they were nothing but dried bones. Tang Zhou and Yumo immediately tested his power, clashing with his spells. They quickly realized his magical formations were incredibly strong, far beyond what they expected. But Yandan noticed something else. She deduced that, for all his power, Li Wei-yang couldn't wield the sacred artifact. That's why he had orchestrated this entire elaborate scheme to lure them here, so they could use Li Chun for him. To their surprise, Li Wei-yang admitted it without a hint of shame. He then led them deeper into the Shenxiao Palace. There, before them, swirled a massive, ominous, black vortex. Li Wei-yang called it the demonic image. He began to tell his story.
Years ago, he was gravely injured and woke up on Vermilion Emerald Mountain with no memory of his past.
An old man was with him, standing before this same black vortex. This mysterious old man taught him how to use the demonic image to cultivate his power, and even taught him transformation techniques.
But the old man never revealed his own identity, and eventually passed away.
To protect the demonic image and his secret, Li Wei-yang created this entire spirit domain. He believed the vortex held the key to recovering his lost memories, but a poisonous miasma blocked the entrance. Desperate, he established the Shenxiao Palace and trained disciples.
Many of them dancers from the Jin Wenfeng, sending them out to find a way to clear the miasma.
Finally, he learned that the sacred artifact, Li Chun, could purify it. The only problem was, he couldn't use it. So,
Li Wei-yang
proposed a deal.
if Tang Zhou used Li Chun to break through the miasma, all their past grievances would be wiped clean.
Yandan, seeing an opportunity to search for other divine artifacts that might be hidden within, agreed.
With the deal struck, Tang Zhou unleashed the power of Li Chun, and the relic's holy light successfully dispersed the poisonous barrier.
With the path now clear, the four of them stepped into the unknown.
In the dream, Yandan found herself by the river of forgetfulness, seeing Tang Zhou's blurry figure once more.
But when she woke up, a nightmare had become reality.
They were all sinking into a sand pit.
You, Emma, or Du, Wei, Yang, and Tang Zhou were slowly being swallowed by the sand. She screamed for Yumo, then desperately transformed her lotus roots into vines to pull Tang Zhou out.
But the vines snapped, and he sank even faster.
As she rushed toward him, a sharp, inexplicable pain seized her heart and tears welled in her eyes. Why? She didn't understand.
Just then, Yumo and Li Wei-yang regained consciousness, realizing the sand only consumed those who were asleep.
Wake him up!
Yumo yelled.
Together, They shouted Tang Zhou's name. In his days, Tang Zhou was back at his sect, facing an impossible choice. His master forced him to choose between Yandan and the righteous path, while all his fellow disciples chanted for him to kill her. His master even grabbed his hand, plunging a dagger into Yandan. The sheer terror jolted him awake, and he broke free from the sand's grip. As they hurried away, Yumo quietly picked up a piece of broken lotus root. A-side, rentalmento. The group journeyed on until they reached a small river. As Yandan bent to get some water, a huge snake lunged out. Yumo identified it as the nine-tailed serpent, a deadly demonic beast. Yandan's memory. Sparchi knew its one fatal weakness, the strange tail, the only one that couldn't regenerate. Aim for the strange tail, she shouted. But as the serpent struck at her, Yumo threw himself in the way.
He beat him, but without hesitation, he sliced away the poisoned flesh himself.
The serpent then tried to cast an illusion on Li Wei-yang, but Tang Zhou was faster, throwing a dagger that blinded one of its eyes. With a final shriek, the beast fell. Li Wei-yang, ever the pragmatist, collected one of its fangs. He then led them to a magnificent hall filled with mirrors. This place, they guessed, could restore lost memories. Li Wei-yang tried to remember his past, but the fragmented images brought only blinding pain.
Meanwhile, Yumo's presence accidentally summoned the third divine artifact. See?
The mirrors around them began to flicker, showing Yandan glimpses of her past. Tang Zhou saw a sinister blood ritual and felt a wave of dizziness wash over him. Suddenly, Yandan saw the nine-tailed serpent reviving in one of the reflections. We need to grab Yumo and get out of here. Now, she urged. But it was too late. A mysterious black-robed figure emerged from a mirror, its eyes fixed on Li Wei-yang, frozen with fear. Li Wei-yang could only watch as the figure attacked Yumo and Tang Zhou. Yandan realized the attacker was a mindless puppet, only chasing moving targets. You two, lure it outside. We'll get Yumo, she commanded. They split up. Tang Zhou grabbed the artifact, carefully gathered Yandan's scattered lotus petals, and gently handed one back to her, a silent promise. Outside, the battle raged. Yumo was shocked by the figure's rare and powerful techniques. Li Wei-yang, though not as strong, was surprisingly clever, dodging and deflecting the attacks in a way that puzzled Yumo. But the figure cornered Li Wei-yang. Yumo rushed to his aid, but was struck down. At that moment, Li Wei-yang finally saw the attacker's face. The figure then self-destructed, embedding a magical object into Li Wei-yang's body. In an instant, all his lost memories came flooding back.
As Yumo tried to push himself up, his strength failed him, and he collapsed, unconscious.
What did Li Wei-yang see? And what will become of our heroes now that they have the third artifact? Let me know your theories in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching!